Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Morales Jr. and I'm joined today with my co-host Seek, and we got a special guest with us today. We got pro boxer Tommy Hyde. How's it going, Tommy?
All good, lads. Thanks very much for getting me on.
No problem. It's our pleasure. Thank you for making the time.
Not about it at all.
First question we got for you. I'm sure this is the question you get asked all the time, and it's how did you get into boxing?
Right. Yeah, I do get asked that a lot. I started boxing when I was like 7 years old. My great granduncle is who I was named after. He was Tommy Hyde too, and he was the Irish champion in 1946. And he's known as the Prince of Cork boxing. Cork is the city I come from in Ireland, so he's the Prince of Cork boxing. He's one of the best fighters to come out of my city. So from there, I always heard the stories about him when I was growing up. And then my dad managed. He's a boxing manager, so he managed a lot of fighters, and he brought me to the fights in the US and across Ireland and England. So that's where my love kind of came from boxing.
Absolutely. And then can you let us know how you got the nickname the Governor?
So the governor, that's also another question I get asked a lot. The governor is the boss. So I'm the licensee, so I'm the owner of a bar back home in Ireland. So the owner is the boss and I'm the governor. So it's a unique name as well. There's not many people have it. Arnold Schwarzenegger's the only one I know that has it. So me and Arnie are the only two governors around.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's not very common in the boxing ring, so it stands out.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Tommy, can you tell us about your amateur career? You know, what was your major accomplishments from back in the day?
Yeah, so I boxed in Ireland. You're allowed to fight at 11 years old, and that's when I started. When I had my first fight was 11, and I had over 100 amateur fights. I boxed internationally for Ireland, representing my country as a junior, as a senior, and boxed all over the world, South Africa, all over Europe, Russia, Ukraine, and I've been lucky to be able to travel so much with boxing. I've I've had three national titles. I've won the Celtic Box Cup in Ireland, the Harringay Box Cup in London, and yeah, I'm lucky to have got so much experience as an amateur.
Great. And you're currently in the Los Angeles area, you know, training out of the Churchill Boxing Gym, as we mentioned kind of before the start of the interview. How has the training been going so far at a Churchill?
Yeah, I love it. Pedro and all the guys in Churchill there, it's like a big family, and they welcome me with open arms, and I love training there. We've another Irish guy there now with me. He's staying in Los Angeles with me as well, and he's training. He's making his debut in 3 weeks' time on the same show as me. So it's great to have another Irishman there, and it's just a great community in Churchill Boxing Club, a great atmosphere, and I'm delighted with the train I'm getting there. The train I'm getting there, I'm learning every day, and I'm improving every single camp. I can see big improvements all the time.
Yeah, and then with their collaboration with Matchroom, you probably get a lot of Matchroom fighters that show up.
Yeah. So just before I came, Conor Bain, John Ryder, and Joe Cardina, they were all there. So I came like 2 weeks after that, so it would have been great to train with them, and I could have got some sparring with John Ryder, but obviously there'll be a lot more big names from the UK and across America coming to Churchill in the next year or so.
Yep. Yep. And then as you kind of mentioned, you made a pre debut back in December of 2022. What were your emotions heading into your first pro fight?
Yeah, I was excited. So I'm not sure if you know, but the April before that, April 2022, I was told I'd never boxed again over showings that were on my finals that were on my brain scan. So I had 6 months going through tests and going through different X-rays and scans. And I finally was told I could box again. I was okay to box, but it was kind of a roller coaster for a couple of months, not knowing what was going to happen. And to finally get the debut date in December and get it done, and it's been my dream since I'm a child since I'm traveling around to the boxing fights with my dad. It's been a dream to turn professional, so it was great to get that one out of the way.
No, and I didn't know about the backstory. That makes it even more meaningful of a pro debut.
100%. I was supposed to fight in my home city again, Cork, and it was sold out. And the Tuesday before the fight was on a Saturday. On the Tuesday, I was told I'd never box again, and the show was cancelled. So my dreams were just shattered, and I didn't know what was next for me. It was kind of a scary couple of months, not knowing what way my life was going to go. And thankfully, all was clear, all was good, and it was just a false alarm.
Yeah, no, thankfully. And speaking of what's next, you'll be back in the boxing ring on March 16th in Redwood City, California, on a card being promoted by Westside Promotions. What can fans expect to see from you on March 16th?
They can expect another good performance. I'm getting better all the time, as I said in the gym. I'm always improving, so I'm looking to show that under the lights. It's one thing doing it in the gym and sparring, but doing it under the lights is another thing. So that's what I want to do. I want to show people while I'm about how good I can be, and I'm fighting another Irishman. It's on St. Patrick's weekend, so it's a big weekend for the Irish. So I'm looking to steal the show.
Yeah, that's what we saw. Another fellow Irishman, kind of with experience. I think he has more fights than you as well. What can you tell us about Craig McCarty?
Yeah, he's the current Celtic champion, and we're fighting for his title. So I'm the challenger on this one. Um, he only lives like an hour away from where I live back home in Ireland, so I know him well. I've fought in the same show as him in April. He's a good fighter, and he's always comes in good shape. So it should be a good step up for me on paper, and I'm looking to put on a good performance, a very good performance.
Excellent. And then as a super middleweight, kind of the weight class you plan to go after your first world title, or would that be at a higher weight class, you think?
I think I'll be super middleweight for the next couple of years. I'm only 24, and I'm 6'3", so I'm big for the weight, but I still make it fairly comfortably. So I think it'll be 168 for the next couple of years.
Right. And then, speaking of the future as well, what's a venue you would like to headline one day? Kind of like your dream venue.
Oh, I'd love to bring a big fight back home to Ireland, but I'd also love to fight Madison Square Garden, or even the TD Garden in Boston. Boston's a huge Irish city, a lot of Irish people in Boston, so I'd love to headline there, or in New York. Yeah, the Madison Square Garden I think is the mecca of boxing.
Yeah, that'd be a great venue. Excellent. And then, every kind of dream venue needs a kind of a dream opponent to kind of make the stage even bigger. Is there a fighter in mind you would want to share the ring with one day?
Um, I don't know. By the time I'm up there to fight in the likes of Madison Square Garden and headline that, I wonder who the champions will be by then. Canelo will be gone. Um, I don't think Canelo has too long left, so maybe this year or next year. I don't think I'll be headlining Madison Square Garden that quickly, but who knows? Um, I wonder who the champions are. I'm not too sure, but whoever the champions are, then I'll welcome them.
Absolutely. And you had a very active 2023, six fights that you guys, what was it you would say schedule, but you have more fight schedule. I think a few got canceled near the end. Um, how many fights would you like to have in 2024 if it's up to you?
Yeah, so I had 6 fights last year and 3 cancelled, so that would have been 9 fights in 12 months, which was good going. But this year I'm hoping to get 5 or 6 fights again. I'm stepping up the 8 rounds for my next fight, and I'm hoping to end the year with maybe 1 or 2 10 rounders and another title fight.
Cool, cool, cool. And then, Tommy, this is an interesting question I like to ask everyone. Who is the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with, either sparring or in pro fight?
The hardest puncher.
Yeah.
The hardest puncher that stands out to me is the guy I fought in the amateurs. Paul McCullough is his name. He just had very heavy hands. Every shot he threw was kind of heavy handed, and he actually turned pro. He'd three fights, I think, undefeated, but I don't think he's boxing anymore. But he was heavy handed.
Gotcha.
Nice. And then growing up, Tommy, who was your favorite boxer?
My favorite boxer. I always like watching Miguel Cotto, Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, those kind of guys. I think it was a great era for boxing. And but these days, Gennady Golovkin, I think he's retired now, but an unbelievable fighter to watch. And all action, always entertaining, and always in a good fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't
Cool.
go wrong.
And I have to put you in the hot seat, Tommy, here. Who was your number one pound for pound fighter among active fighters? If it's up to 3, you can name up to 3. Respectful.
The two that stand out for me are Naoya Inoue and Terence Crawford. I think I'd lean towards Inoue at the minute because he's just that little bit more active. But Crawford's last performance against Spence was a special performance, and it's hard to go past him too.
Yeah, I would agree.
Cool.
All right, for the next section, Tommy, we want to kind of pick your brain and ask you about some upcoming fights that are either confirmed or rumored. If they're too close to call, you can always say 50-50, or you can also just pass.
Yeah.
First one we want to ask you about is a heavyweight matchup: Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a 50-50, but Francis Ngannou showed us a lot more than we expected against Tyson Fury. I also think Tyson Fury didn't come prepared for that fight. So I think Joshua will be coming all guns blazing, and I expect Joshua to win and win in an exciting style.
It's gonna be an exciting fight. Heavyweight boxing can always end in one punch.
Definitely, especially with these two guys. Francis Ngannou already proved that he's a big puncher, hurting Fury. He's a big man, and he's not afraid to let the shots go.
Absolutely. Go ahead, speak with the next one.
All right, cool. This one's coming up. We've been waiting for one of these. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia.
For me, it's Devin Haney. I think he's improving. He's only 25, 26 years of age, and he's still improving all the time. He's a proper professional, and I think he wins that fight, and I think he wins it fairly comfortably.
Absolutely.
Cool.
This next fight, it's in your weight class. It's a fight rumor between two Mexican fighters, Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia.
Oh, it's a good fight. It's a really good fight. I would go with Canelo just due to his experience. I think Munguia is a very good fighter, a very entertaining fighter. He throws his combinations and he's not afraid to let his hands go either. But I would lean towards Canelo on that one. And a tough fight. It's not an easy fight for Canelo, especially with Munguia's age. He's young and he's probably only hitting his prime now.
Well said.
Yes, sir. Let's move it up a weight. At the 175-pound light heavyweight. Batterby versus Bivol.
That's a 50-50, but I'm gonna put it out there. I think Bivol could do it. I think it's hard to see how you beat Beterbiev if you can't knock him out. He looks like he's hard to knock out, but I think he's going to be able to outbox him for the 12 rounds. It's going to be a close fight. It is a 50-50 fight that could go either way, but I'm going to lean towards Bivol. I love watching Bivol. He's a masterful boxer and probably the best technical boxer in boxing right now.
Yes, sir.
Coming back to you, Tommy, what are some things you like to do outside of boxing? Some of your interests and hobbies?
I kind of live a fairly boring life when I'm not boxing over here, and when I'm in training camp. Obviously, training camp is boring. You're just resting, you're eating, and you're training, obviously. But when I'm back home, I work in the bar that I said that I'm the licensee, I'm the owner of. It's actually a family bar, so it's my family run it, but I'm just the licensee of it. So I work there most days when I'm at home, and I love working there. There's some great characters coming in there every day. And yeah, I really enjoy working there. But other than that, I don't do much. Really. I help out in the amateur boxing club when I can. I get to the amateur boxing club at home as much as I can for the Horgan's Boxing Club, who are producing some great talent.
Nice.
What is the best piece of advice you would give to someone who is making talking about a career going into boxing or making a career out of boxing?
As cliche as it sounds, trust the process. There's a lot of good days of boxing, but there's a lot more bad days. There's plenty of times I've had bad spars, and you're just like, why am I picking this sport? But then when you have the good spars and you have the good wins and the good fights and good performances, then you know why you picked it. It's all about trusting the process. Always listen to your coach and constantly look to improve. I always want to improve, and I know I'm far from the finished article, but when I am the finished article, I'll achieve my goals, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Great advice. Final question we got for you, Tommy. It's not really a question, it's more so opening up the floor. What's the message you want to send to your fans and supporters?
Just want to thank everybody for the support I get, both in America. I fought in Boston a couple of times. I'm fighting in San Francisco now. A lot of Irish in both cities, and I'm very appreciative for the support I get in both cities. Back home in Ireland, I'm selling out arenas when I'm fighting there. I'm setting out venues when I'm fighting there. So it's humbling that I have so much people supporting me and wishing me well and looking for me to do well. And I'm looking forward to getting to the big stage and bringing them all there with me.
Perfect. And yeah, you're on your way to being a global superstar. You know, fighting Ireland, not fighting the States.
That's the goal.
Yep, and with hard work you'll get there, Tommy. We appreciate your time. Before we let you go, can you drop your social media where people can find you?
Yes, thanks very much, lads. My social media is Instagram @TommyHyde1, Twitter or X is @TommyHyde99, and Facebook is just Tommy Hyde.
And there you go. I will make sure you give him a follow and keep up to date with his boxing career. And Tommy will definitely be tuning in on March 16th. Looking forward to another victory. And thank you again for the interview.
Definitely, lads. Thanks very much.
No problem. Take care. All right. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you, lads.